And we're back.
And we went to see another movie.
And the whole week has passed.
Yes, and we went to see The Roses.
Didn't we just?
We really just did that.
Woo!
I want to maybe talk about another thing, which is that going out into the world, and now that we're being movie reviewers, Squirrel here is experiencing a little bit of harassment. I just want to address that, here. We went to the movies. We were just trying to take our little picture, and here's one of the pictures we got. I'll just put it right here with somebody put their dog right in your face.
That's right, and then walked away saying, "I'm a troublemaker." Yeah. It's like, yeah, you took a dog to a movie theater. What's the dog getting out of this? Maybe the dog saw the roses too. Who knows?
Dog. Yeah, so if you see Squirrel out there trying to enjoy the movies,
say hello.
Please respect his autonomy.
Yes, please.
Like we were trying to have a nice time.
But you don't have to stick your snout in my snout.
Don't.
Thank you.
Don't put your purse dog in my best friend's face, okay? This is what we're trying to say.
No purse dogs.
So anyway.
All right, The Roses. 1 hour 45. I was about to say 145 minutes because that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
1 hour 45.
Oh, is that how long it was?
And it felt so much longer.
Yes, and that's not a value. No. It doesn't end up being a value. Here's a movie poster.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Picture in picture.
Yeah. So all right. Why don't you kick it off?
Let's start with the positive. Accentuate the positive. Eliminate the. Well, we're not going to eliminate the negative because there's some negatives, but
yeah. What
I
did
thought
you like?
Olivia Colman, Benedict Cumberbatch, Kate McKinnon, and Andy Samberg, all great, great actors, comedic timing, fun. What exactly were they given to do in this? Except be weird is my take from this. They were just all weird. And I'm not sure that equals comedy. There's some great one-liners, there's some excellent performances, but my goodness, if you're expecting like lots of laughs, it was snooze fest. Can I get away with saying snooze fest? I don't know. It was a snooze fest for me. Sorry, everyone involved. You made a movie. We watched it. We paid to watch it, and oy.
Okay, so you were the one who kind of reminded me that this movie could possibly be connected to War of the Roses.
Oh yes.
So I did
1989.
I did a little digging. So, because I was like, wait, even that was like a reference to something, right? Well, yeah. So the original War of the Roses were some English civil wars from 1455 to 1487 between the houses of Lancaster, Red Rose, and York, White Rose. And then there was a 1981 novel called War of the Roses, and then a 1989 movie with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas.
And the just side note, the book was so popular that it coined the term the War of the Roses in divorce courts. That became a catch-on, it's the War of the Roses.
Look at Squirrel knowing.
Look at me knowing some stuff. I've read a thing or two.
Divorce culture. Yeah. So essentially, to me, this is the cup of coffee that they keep putting in the microwave, and hoping that each time it's gonna taste good. And what is that?
Is that your watch? Wait, I'm not wearing a watch. Well, sorry, there's some sort of Casio watch alarm going off somewhere.
Okay, hold.
Let's pause.
We'll pause. Okay, so we just had to find the source of a beeping. We're actually in my late father's office, and he was somebody who really liked movies. And there was a time when we had some really good movie discussions. And anyway, apparently there's an alarm that goes off here sometimes. So anyway,
we should talk about your dad's movie discussions with you rather than this movie.
Yeah, probably.
Too mean, too harsh? I'm
So-
sorry, the roses.
So yeah, okay. And maybe we won't drag this one out quite as long because I feel like it's a little more cut and dry. Like some alfalfa in a hamster cage. I don't know.
I'll go with that.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so like I think the problem, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think a big problem with this movie is that I think there's supposed to be a sense of balance. Like maybe both characters are supposed to be a little awful, and we're supposed to be sort of able to see a balance in that. Like they're both equally awful, but instead somebody kind of stunk it up on the writing because and also I think Olivia Colman has a sparkle that just can't be dimmed, you know. So
Very true.
you know, she couldn't help but glow a bit, and when she was in her mom duties in the movie, she looked like she was genuinely joyful and loving her kids. When she was, you know, working on her restaurant and cooking, she was great with her staff.
Yep.
She was just lovable. She and really talented and inspired.
And wasn't she in The Bear as the chef?
She was.
And came across like that too. Like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. So in contrast, Benedict Cumberbatch, that's his name, right?
Benedict Cumberbatch, something like
Something
that.
like that.
Sorry, Benedict,
I don't
but
know.
really.
To me, he came off as the worst. Like,
Right, and I can't tell if that's because he's such a good actor. Is it the performance that you just hate him? And you're like, oh, that's a good performance because I hate this character. It's a character that I hate. Or is it him? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not
Again, sorry, Benedict.
I might not be familiar enough with his work to know if I have, you know, I have maybe never seen him in a role that I was like, gosh, that guy seems great. But he was definitely selling being not great, which definitely I'm sure came from the script. And so I'm blaming the script. And
Good choice.
this is also like when we reviewed the Sketch movie, I talked about how refreshing it was to see a movie that was
Yes.
set in a middle class
Yes.
scenario. This movie was very much rich people's problems. And then when one of the rich people is truly unlikable, and let's get into that, okay? So I'm talking about the guy, Benedict Cumberbatch's character. What was his name? Do we know?
Leon? No.
Devin?
Something like
We
that.
don't know
See?
what his name was.
And there's the problem right there. Not a memorable character name, sadly.
Yeah. And,
Troy? No.
He.
I remember Olivia Colman was Iris, right?
I don't know. Ivy.
She
She was Ivy. Yeah.
Oi.
Yeah. So.
I got that wrong.
So okay. So he is an architect, and he has somehow gotten the commission to design this important building that's like right on the ocean, and
supposedly a daring, kind of fun, happy-go-lucky, I'm going to design stuff carefree kind of architect.
Right.
Like, I'm bucking the trends.
but he never really looked happy about any of this. I mean,
No.
he from the moment we see him, he's just rolling his eyes and grumbling, and and now this is a project that he cares a lot about. But I guess he's like really bad at his job or something because
so.
this structure crashes, and it's funny because their fortunes, one storm kind of changes each of their fortunes. He is the he's unveiling this building he's hoping to it will be a beloved part of this city forever, you
Right,
know,
right.
and it collapses nightmarishly. In the meantime, the storm forces uh, customers to, people to reroute and become new customers of Ivy's, Olivia Colman's restaurant, which has been kind of struggling. And she only runs it a few days a week, and however that works. And again, rich people's problems.
Right.
And that you could have a whole restaurant and only have to like have it open 3 days a week. And there's even a restaurant critic who suddenly ends up there, and of course they love her food. So her trajectory at that point is going up. Benedict Cumberbatch is plummeting. He's basically ruined his career as an architect, and then from there on, he's just bitter. She's like, hey, I'll run the restaurant more. I'll do more with it, and he just cannot stand that she's having success.
Right. Thinks he can raise the kids better.
He's just bitter. He's instantly, she's a chef, and she's been doing all these like elaborate pastries with them and just having lots of fun. He instantly says no sugar and has them like the Von Trapp of track and field. Like he's just like, sit-ups, drop and give me however many, and go run a 5K. And it's just odd. It's just odd, and the kids, you can't tell if they're miserable or they're kind of fine with it. And then it flashes forward 3 years, and
turns out the kids were into it. They were into the rigid, like, their regime.
Yeah.
Is like exercise, being up, not eating sugar. They were all into it.
They're into it, sort of, but it's like he's no Mr. Mom, okay? Like there is no like, oh, this is where he becomes a great dad. He's just kind of still like, it seems like the only thing he's really doing for them is their exercise and nutrition plan, aside from like, there's one moment where it's clear he's been a source of like comfort to the daughter the day before, but it's something that like he actually should have shared with his wife if something that happened to the daughter, like he should have shared that. Like that's being a decent guy. So he's definitely like hoarding experiences. He's lashing out at Olivia Colman, saying like, you're never here. Meanwhile, she's footing the bill for him to build this ridiculously elaborate home for them, which he's spending, they're hemorrhaging money, and she keeps making more and more money because she continues to be successful. But like, he's overspending on all of this stuff, and it's supposed to be almost like his audition to be accepted as an architect again. Meanwhile, I really feel like he has zero remorse for the fact that his building smashed into the ocean. Like that was his design. He screwed up.
It instantly became a meme online, and, a remix dance hit of him screaming about it collapsing, and that was it.
Right, and the next day he's like, oh, no, I think I'm fine. Well, what about other people who are affected by your failure? Other people who are affected.
Somehow he just took singularly the fall for it all, which I thought was ridiculous when he got that phone call about someone's got to take the fall for this, and it's the architect with a brush off line saying the engineers blame you. So that's it. Then everyone else is in the clear. It's just Benedict Cumberbatch's fault that building collapsed in a high storm.
Well, I actually kind of agree with that. I think it is his fault. I think he should have felt worse about it. I think he should have doubted his own like abilities, and it seemed like he didn't.
And it seems to me then that nobody in the engineering side of building a building questioned the architect, which seems unlikely.
Well, I don't know. Isn't that part of architecture? I don't know. It seems like you don't just get to, that all you do is say like, I want it to look like a giant banana, and other people have to figure it out. I'm assuming an architect has to do some of that, right?
Maybe. I didn't Google architecture, so you could be right.
We did not look
Maybe
into
they
that.
don't question the boss, and I guess the architect is the boss. I don't know.
I don't know, but it was his idea and it messed up, and he just didn't seem like he he seemed like he had a super high opinion of himself the whole time. It seemed like this parenting thing was kind of beneath him. He resented it. He couldn't really be happy for her when she finally gets to go on like a trip and have some experiences and some successes with her restaurant. He was totally fine. He was basically fine with her being being a stay-at-home parent for a long time, which also brings us to the question, did you find yourself saying, like, have these people never heard of, like, childcare?
Right, right. Especially how rich they are.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point when, Benedict's character loses his job and Olivia Colman steps in going, well, my restaurant's doing pretty well, so there's no hardship. It's like, we've gone from being rich to being rich and a little bit famous. Great! That's real life.
Right, and there was never a moment where they thought that their like lifestyle that they're accustomed to was in any way in danger.
Right.
Even with this massive failure by his character and her restaurant just getting off the ground, no one was ever concerned about money.
Nope. Which that's easy to relate to, right? None of us are all worried about money, right?
But they're glaring at each other when he starts to get super resentful of her success. He's like, what, kind of like one of us had, and he even referred to the patriarchy earlier on, but like one of us had to be the stay-at-home parent, and so one of us kind of has to lose or something. And she's like, oh, I really enjoyed being that, and I've been actually holding down the income around here, but again, like, why doesn't he do architecture 3 days a week?
Right.
If she was able to do restaurant 3 days a week. Also, these kids at this point are like 13 or something. Like, they don't really need you around all this much.
Right.
Like, it's just stuff like that to me was sloppy in the writing. And
they kind of wrote the kids out real fast. Like, we can't write for children. 13-year-olds, too hard to write for. Get them out of the... Oh, I was going to say get them out of the country, but they go to Miami or something for some athletics thing.
Yeah, at some point, the kids get a scholarship. Like, why do
13.
they need a scholarship? Their mom is, like, super rich,
Right.
But for some reason, they get this scholarship to go to this, like, some sort of athletic schools for 13-year-olds somewhere. And that gets them out of the picture. And that's probably important for the way the movie ends. But we won't exactly spoil that. Let's talk about Andy Samberg and Kate McKinnon.
Sure. They were great. I liked them. I liked their characters. I liked some of their dialogue. Kate McKinnon's kind of crushing on Benedict after a while got old and a bit stale, but then she kind of brought it back at the end with her speech about my body's probably got stage 4 something or other. I love that line.
That was funny. Yeah, well, I don't know. It seems like all of a sudden when Andy Samberg and Kate McKinnon are talking, the writing gets better.
Which makes me think maybe they improvise some of their stuff.
Maybe they're improvising some stuff, because the only laughs for me in the movie were delivered by Andy Samberg and Kate McKinnon. They were funny, and they knew what to do with comedy, and the writing for them was better. So either the writer enjoyed making those characters, or those guys just came in and punched it up in person.
I'll bet that's right. I'll bet they punched up their own dialogue and made it their own. Kate McKinnon's delivery of her dialogue was great. Like, it felt the most natural. Everyone else, sometimes you get that feeling that people are acting. And that's kind of what I was saying at the start of, like, let's talk about the good. They're all some great actors in the lead roles, but I felt like they were acting, which you're not supposed to feel like they're acting. You're supposed to feel like they're living those characters. And at no point did I feel like Olivia Colman or Benedict were like living those lives. I felt like they were just acting. Now, Olivia Colman did do some great stuff later on in the film. Um, I don't know. When two characters are this in love and then they're not, stuff doesn't ring true to me. Like, if you go through some reconciliation, which there was in the film, it seemed genuine to me. Like, let's make another go of it. And then next scene, we're fighting again. And it's like, so that lasted how long? The passage of time in the movie's unclear. Was that a week, a month, a minute? Did it literally last until the next scene? I was not invested in their relationship. I was just kind of waiting for it to go wrong, and boy, did it.
It just seemed like Benedict Cumberbatch's character was a jerk. He even admits
Right.
that, like, to out loud in the movie. Like, he knows that he is, and but he just throws little tantrums and is unpleasant. And then she kind of has a natural reaction and then feels bad about the natural reaction and ends up apologizing. I didn't really feel like her character pretty much did anything wrong the whole movie.
Right. She just became a famous chef, and he really should have championed her on, but couldn't do it.
She still looked like she wasn't blowing off the kids. She
Right.
wanted to be involved as much as she could. And she was like incredibly busy with multiple restaurants. And they could have sent her some more messages, they could have texted her some stuff, or
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
like that, like he enjoyed knowing that she was losing her connection to the kids. But the kids didn't even, like, they clearly didn't resent her. They had like still positive interactions with her. So I feel like, yeah, this movie didn't know that, like, I think they wanted to create this tension and this like balanced, like, these people hate each other, but really it's like this kind of cool lady is married to this like kind of piece of garbage, like, who's super tiresome. And yeah, it's like I'm rooting for them to, like, can we get to the divorce scene? How
Right.
long do we have to wait before that starts? Now, I think about this movie also is that I think part of at least I never saw the Kathleen Turner movie, but I do remember seeing like commercials for it, and you knew that violence was happening, and this movie kind of gets to the kind of Tom and Jerry, once again, kind of cartoon violence. It takes forever to get to that part. This movie, it felt like forever. This movie trudged along forever, just kind of like almost like in a line. And then finally they decide to get a divorce, and then they kind of change their mind, and then it starts getting violent, and then not long after that it ends. And yeah, for me, it starts to feel more like a sad trudge of like a trapped woman, a woman trapped in a situation, rather than like two people who just can't get along. And it was really kind of depressing. Now there's one little like thing that runs through the movie that maybe we can talk about. And I wanted to talk about the raspberries.
Oh, right. That Olivia Colman's character is allergic to. And was it supposed to be funny that they had the EpiPen like right there, like all the time, like they knew what she was allergic to. They knew Mom would go into anaphylactic shock,
Right.
so no raspberries. But then she at the start baked something and knew there were raspberries in it and said raspberries as she bit into it, which means Benedict had to jump up, grab the EpiPen. Was that supposed to be funny? I was not
I don't think
laughing.
Well, I think it's a comedy, so we're sort of expecting some things to be funny.
Right.
But to me, what that was Olivia Colman is such a dedicated chef. She wants to know what her flavors are like.
Yes, I see. Yep, I can understand that. Yeah.
So sometimes in order to create the things she's creating, she's going to consume some raspberries just to know. She might also like the way they taste. But sometimes we like the things that are bad for us, right? But
But they won't immediately kill
sometimes we
us.
like the things that are bad for us, like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh.
Maybe.
So the movie is great.
Never mind.
Our mistake. The movie's deep and clever. There you go.
No, but I feel like there's something there. Like she is so dedicated to her craft, and that includes like an experience for other people. You know, it's not
Right.
just like when you're cooking, you know, you're trying to give other people an experience. She is so dedicated to like knowing that it's right, that she will like risk her life regularly. It seemed like it was a routine for them. It's also the Chekhov's raspberries, right?
Right.
We know that raspberries are dangerous for her. I'm just noticing that we were managing to have a long discussion again, and that's fine. That's fine. That's what we're gonna do. But I just saw the time on the thing.
Oh.
But anyway.
Well, we could wrap it up and say it was terrible. Don't see it. But no. We are going to discuss these characters.
Yeah. So you know the raspberries could kill her, and of course that's going to come in later. And I think when you get to the point where you're like willing to risk the life of a person, even somebody that you are trying to divorce, if you're willing to consider ways to kill them,
Right.
in order to like maybe get what you want from the contract, you know, and the settlement or whatever, there's no forgiving that, you know.
No.
There's no warming that back up. And yeah, so
I mean, to the point that, you know, when it happens for the third time, was it the rule of three with comedy? Did they do the raspberries 3 times?
Yeah.
And the last time is like, we're really into the Tom and Jerry stuff. Feed Olivia Colman raspberries, but Benedict's got the EpiPen and he's just sitting there watching her while trying to get her to sign a contract.
Yeah, and again,
she's like,
spoilers, but like
Yeah,
we're gonna say this is spoilers
spoilers.
on the video title.
Sure.
But yeah, okay, so let's talk about that. Like, I think actually like the toughest thing, and I was almost expecting her to do this, would have been in that moment to be like, all right, kill me then, you know? I'm not going to sign this. I guess you just murdered me. You know what I mean?
Right, get out of this one.
Like, you know, and maybe he would have been, like, somehow I don't think his character, I just wish she had played chicken a little bit more, because I don't think...
Because she seemed like the stronger character, so she could have called his bluff being like, all right, then I'm going to fall on the floor and look like I'm dying. What are you going to do? And
Right.
yeah, maybe that would trigger something in him.
Yeah, I felt like it was moments away from him possibly regretting this and realizing...
Right.
Yeah, but because apparently this house is full of EpiPens, you know.
Right.
So there would have been no excuse. And their house is like so controlled by Siri and stuff like that, you know, that I'm sure the police would have been able to reconstruct the timing of everything, that there's got to be some electronics to study for the FBI. But yeah, I just thought the raspberry thing was interesting. The way she was willing to go into anaphylactic shock, you know, just to be sure something was right. And that it kept coming back around, but he weaponized it against her. The fact that he would try to kill her and then holds the way to just save her life like that. I just disliked his character so much. And there's more to that, more stuff with the house, more to the violence between them.
The house.
And then the end, like the end, it just, the way it ends, if it were more balanced, you'd be like, yeah, that seems fair. But again, it to me it was more of uh, an abusive trudge for Olivia Colman's character,
Right.
like that she was a victim, in my opinion, and that's why it doesn't feel like a comedy.
Right.
It's,
And while you wanted to bring up the raspberries, I would like to bring up, let's talk about swearing. I had to look it up, had to Google it, and I've already forgotten what the numbers were, but they were high. It was something like 48 F bombs. And the C word quite a few times, which was a shock to me. And especially that, in England, I don't know, English people just don't say the C word that often. It's like a really, like, I'm really so angry, or I'm going to shock you. I'm dropping the C bomb.
Oh.
And it's a kind of a thing that gets a gasp still, I think, to this day. But people are like, I can't believe you said that. And we hear it a lot in this movie, so I was kind of like, woo, my ears are burning.
Squirrel, I love that
went
you know
southern.
stuff about divorce culture and British culture and all of this stuff.
I'm a learned squirrel. I live quite close to a library.
Yeah, I think all the swearing just floated right past me. So
And I was like, is that supposed to be funny? That they just swear like 1940 sailors or something in this lifestyle they have where they're rich and Olivia Colman becomes somewhat famous in the chef world. And it's like, was it just supposed to be funny? Like, look at how they swear in front of their friends, in front of their kids.
yeah.
That was another thing about Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, only one point did he sort of go, oh, the kids, when something was happening. Oh, he was outside the car having a panic attack. And the kids were like, is he okay? And he just sort of had that realization as a character to be like, oh, what am I doing lying on the floor? I've got kids in the car. But at no point did he ever go, I'm sorry, I'm swearing in front of you. And then they had one comedic moment where I think the daughter said an F-bomb, and they were like, where'd you get that mouth from? And they're like, from you two parents dropping the F-bomb all the time.
Yeah. And I guess ultimately those kids are the ones who escaped this
Yes,
whole thing
true.
they're embroiled
They
in.
did escape,
Yes. So, and
unlike us who had to sit through it.
yeah.
We couldn't go to Miami on a scholarship.
So I don't know. So I would say I would give this movie, if my system is sheet cake,
Oh, right.
well, it's not much of the sheet cake, and it's definitely not a corner piece either. I feel like it's some raggedy bit that's in the middle. Maybe somebody took a piece and then put it back in the pan, and so it's just some random half squished piece of cake in the center of what once was a glorious sheet cake. Basically, I think this movie stunk, and yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I would say definitely I like your sheet cake formula. Stick with that. I'm going to give it one Danny DeVito toe from 1989 from the original War of the Roses out of 10 toes. That's my one toe. Sorry, everyone who made this.
Yeah, I was just remembering the dog. There was a dog in the movie at one point. It's kind of funny, but like that was just such a brief moment. There were such brief moments of levity that always felt like, oh, this is just a little side whiff of fun, and the main story here was just very difficult to care about, and yeah, so, and such a pretty location, such a, I don't know, to make whole restaurants and homes and everything.
Right.
I don't know. I wonder what the budget was for this movie. We'll have to find out. But it felt like it kind of had a high budget. And I don't think that people are probably out there liking this movie very much.
I know. I wonder if it's going to make its money back. Not that I really care.
It was a drag.
Everybody got paid, I'm sure.
But you know what, Squirrel?
What's that?
I just really like going to the movies with you.
Me too.
And I like talking about movies.
Right.
And so I'm not sorry we went, because, if we're going to go to a movie every week, by the end of the year, that's what, 55 movies or something?
That's right, and that's what going to the movies is all about. Is just like the fun with friends. It might be good, sketch, or it might be terrible, this thing. So
Yeah. So
you take your chances.
we're glad. I'm glad we went.
It's good to support the arts.
Yeah.
That's our moral for this video. Support
And-
the arts, everyone.
If you made it to the end of this review, I don't know. You probably obsessed with Squirrel and
Or you. Cinema girl. Cinema squirrel.
or we've lulled you to sleep in your having a nice
yeah.
nap. So
Right. Maybe use us as white noise
Yes.
instead of the seashore. Just listen to us rant about movies. All right.
you're dreaming very. You're having nice dreams.
Probably don't go see the
Don't
roses.
go see the roses. Just keep dreaming your dream.
Yes.
You're probably doing a good job writing it. All right.
We'll see you at the next movies, folks.
Bye.